Hey, welcome back, gamers of all variety, to some more Robocrafts. I am Wraulin. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of my robots, as I usually like to do, that I've created and put out on the shop. These are going to both be under the Wraulin account. The first one here is Meshuga, which is kind of a glorified gunship. It has those two chain guns, which suck up all your energy, but then you got the nice lightweight vaporizers that use hardly any, so when you're trying to recharge, you could be switching over to those and putting out the damage. Does have a power module, of course, to make this whole thing work better. And then I use those big mega hovers on top, or I guess they're maybe called hurricanes or something now, to kind of armor plate up the smaller hovers on the bottom. That adds to stability and keeps you floating if you lose your big bad hovers on the front. Then of course I threw on a radar and I threw on a little speedometer just to kind of keep things fun and let you know where the enemies are. So this puts out lots of damage. I've been putting out record damage done in the game, but I do die more often as you don't have as much armor blocks. And it is pretty quick and tanky and stuff, but not as tanky as like a mech or some of my other hovers, which use a whole lot more blocks instead of these major components. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about chat and some of the new things happening in Robocraft. So in the very near future, gone will be the days of the crappy chat that you cannot scroll with anymore, and the little tiny window in the bottom corner that's hard to read at all. With multiple windows that are super confusing, they are going to be improving things and color coding chat, making it bigger and making it resizable and just generally more organized. Are you a fan of random letters and keys and a giant wall of spam? Me either. So they're going to be giving you now the ability to do custom chat rooms with password protected lockouts. You can create, join, leave, all that kind of good stuff, these different channels. And you're going to be able to also have some more slash commands, especially for moderators, to make people be suspended or, get them out of the game if they're just being a general nuisance. So for moderators, it should be very nice. A lot of the same slash commands we had before in the chat are going to be switched over to the new chat. Of course, now we'll have a couple new ones because they're going to be adding clans and stuff, so we'll go ahead and have a /clan chat and also /party and stuff like that too. There'll be a little bit more user interface with the blocks and stuff like that, which would be nice, so you can do like /list block and see exactly who you've blocked if you didn't want to hear them. So that's pretty nice. What else can we talk about? There's going to be some future improvements they're planning on, which won't be released right away, with the ability to right-click and have some of the interfaces pop up automatically. So at first it's just going to be a little bit more /command oriented and look a lot nicer. And there'll be some click commands and stuff for adding people or removing people from groups or from parties. But it's just going to be basically a whole lot nicer looking and a lot larger and easier to read if you want it to be, as you'll be able to resize some of those things. So they were going to bring it out this week on the 25th, but there's a couple extra bugs and stuff they wanted to work out, so they've done something different, and they've went ahead and did a test beta server on only Steam itself. So you're not going to get that through the direct client, but some people participated in it today. Looks like when I checked, the servers were down, and they wouldn't let me show you kind of what the new features are going to look like anyway, as they asked everybody to kind of keep that on the down low until they get everything finalized and sorted out for the big release. Hopefully next week, but could be the week after this new chat system. Does look fantastic though. I am a fan so far. So I had alluded to some features that are not going to be released in the very next update, but they want to implement in the one coming up afterwards, which would be right-click features allowing you to view people's profiles, whisper to them, and yes, profiles will be a thing, so you can kind of fill out a little bit more about yourself, I suppose. And also give you some extended information about stats and stuff, know how they're doing in the game and what their ELO is and all that kind of good stuff too, which I think will be kind of cool. And they're also going to be adding in some kind of referral system, so if you get some new people playing with you and they get to level 5 and they're still playing, you'll get some kind of little bonus for bringing them into Robocraft, as I think they're really looking for some of those new players and they want to bring them in a more social way. So there we go, we got our first victory there, pretty convincingly with my new little gunship Meshuga. I did die 3 times there, but I did get 8 kills and 11 assists and got top score pretty convincingly with lots of damage done, about 16,000 damage in the short game, so that was pretty fun. Anyway, Meshuga is up on the shop if you want to check it out. Like I said, it'll be on the Wraulin account. And did we get anything worthwhile in our chest? Let's see here. Rares and rares. Yeah, some pulls. That's not too bad. So here is some additional footage of me playing Meshuga a little bit earlier today before I went to work. And also, one other thing I want to tell you too is I was listening to an interview between Mark and Drogden and some of the people at Free Jam that they did this week. And I kind of heard Mark allude to some changes that he wants to make or planning to be made in League Arena. And I remember it had been suggested before on the forums that they might want to go to a system that rank decreases over time and you have to kind of keep up with it. I kind of hope they don't go with that. I kind of like having people be able to just achieve P5 and stay there once they earn it, as it is kind of a hard thing to get initially. But he did allude to that they were going to be changing the way that League works. I know for sure they want to keep people playing together socially, so one of the things in the future with Clan Chat, which I'll talk about a little bit more, they're going to be adding some things like extra robots and stuff as an incentive to keep people playing more and longer if you're already a Robocraft player and logging in pretty regularly too. So let's see if we can take this guy out. I really do like these chain guns when you're up on people, but it does take a little bit of like tactical planning because of the time it takes to really get these things spinning. But having two of them is kind of good, though, I've noticed, because usually people always aim for your chain guns. And so if you got two, at least you have one to shoot at them when the other one gets stripped out, because that's usually what they're going to go for. Look at this. It looks like that Bob the Biscuit build just got stuck on this Protonium tower. He is so screwed. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that before. That's pretty funny. Alright, let's switch over now and talk about clans. They're going to be allowing groups of people up to 50 to be together in a clan. The clans will be able to be invite only, or they could be open to the public, and you can do all kinds of cool little things like have your own emblem for the clan mates, have descriptions and stuff like that in there, and it's going to allow you to more easily track progress and participation too of your clan members. So that's pretty nice. There's going to be some advanced features coming down the pipes that will not be unleashed with the initial launch of clans. They just kind of want to get the basics out there. But I think having the extra avatar along with your personal avatar will kind of add to the game. I like that idea. I have not really been planning on making my own clan, but I did have a couple of clan names that I might try out and maybe reserve one of those if I decide to do a clan in the future. But I'm still kind of thinking about just getting together with an existing clan. Something like Atlas Core was kind of the first that I had come to mind, but there's lots of great clans out there like X-Clan, Invectus Rex, Soul Squad, and stuff like that. Great choices, and that's something you should consider. The game will certainly be a lot more fun if you're playing with other people. So I'm definitely looking forward to the changes in general. A lot of the really cool things, though, aren't going to be unleashed in this next patch. You're just kind of getting the foundation down. And then they're talking about, in the future, unleashing some of the extra things, like being able to check other people's stats and stuff in there, and showing like the experience that you'll be able to earn as a clan, which would be rolled out later on. And then also giving rewards based on how well your clan has done against other clans, and every month they'll be giving out like a doling of RP, or I guess it's now Robits, based on your performance and how high you are ranked in a clan and how active you are and stuff like that. The way they had talked about it in the interview with Mark is they want to give more rewards to bigger clans, but then among the higher, more filled out clans, they'll compete, and the ones that perform better will still be top of the ranking. But it'll be a lot easier to accomplish that with a clan of 50 than like a clan of 25. It's kind of the way they were describing it. Anyway, I did pretty good there again with Meshuga. We ended up at least getting a diamond crate, and let's see if there's anything worth keeping in here. Lights, definitely didn't need that, and that crappy leg I probably will never use. Here's my other robot, though. This is Tritech Droid. It's a hard word to say. And C1750 just representing that it's the full CPU. So I was just playing around with some more conceptual ideas with that Tarantutron I showed off in my last video. As kind of inspiration for this one, I still go with the legs that are mounted off that single track, and then I'm using hovers in this one to give you some extra movement options and keep you off the ground, to keep those plasma blasts and volleys of stuff from missing your movement parts altogether, or at least give you some redundancy in movement. That's kind of what I was going for, is lots of redundancy in movement. And options too for how you want to play the game. So if you want to mount yourself up on the side of a hill sideways, you can do that and fire missiles at people, or you can be a little bit more mobile. Now, this is not the quickest of all the robots. I did give it a shield, and I didn't give it the power module, as I wanted to armor it up a little bit more and give it a little bit better radar system with that receiver on top. But it was a lot of fun. This is something I kind of wanted to have more fun with than anything else. I certainly wouldn't think this is a great performance choice or something you'd probably take into League, but you know, sometimes you just want to make a robot that's fun and different. So that's kind of what I was going for when I was making the Tritech Droid, and I think I accomplished that and had fun in here in my Maiden Voyage game. It was kind of a short game overall, but you'll see that. But yeah, so you can jump up on things, and if you hold down the space bar on the Tyrantron or Tritech Droid, you keep your legs up. And the reason I have that little tank track on the bottom is so when you're going over little bumps and hills, you don't hook on with your legs. You hit that tank track and you roll over it. And it also, by itself, can be controlled in keyboard control steering. So you can switch between keyboard control steering and camera control steering on the same robot without having to go into a menu and just choose one or the other. So when you're on the tank track, if you're not up in the air, you'll be in keyboard control. Everything else would be camera controls, which I think was kind of cool and kind of fun. Especially true, though, on the Tyrantron, as this one, you're pretty much always going to be hovering unless you lose all your hovers for some reason. But it's still kind of nice and convenient to keep you from grasping to the side of a rock or something like that when you're going over rough terrain on this thing when you're in hover mode. So anyway, a lot of fun, and kind of going back now to talking about guilds and the new chat system. I think it's going to be good stuff in general. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little nervous about what they're going to be doing with the League Arena, as I do like P5 and I don't want it to degrade over time as I have multiple accounts, but I know a lot of you guys probably don't have multiple accounts, and it's not something you're going to have to worry about as much as most sane people just have one account, and they're nuts like me having like 4. So if it degrades over time, I might be less worried about keeping up with it and just play one account more than having multiple accounts with lots of different stuff on it. Anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. If you would just give me a thumbs up on this video, I'd appreciate that a lot. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you've been up to and if you're looking forward to the chat changes. And I'll see you guys in my very next episode. Later.